Thank you for joining. We'll start with the prayer. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukum Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurundi Natarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Wonderful. Thank you for joining, Mataji. We are discussing the fifth chapter, Nectar of Devotion, the purity of devotional service. The fourth chapter was focusing on how bhakti is beyond liberation and devotee reject liberation. So now we are going even higher level, talking about the purity of devotional service. And we were talking about this paragraph. Yeah, okay, perfect. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions herein that every man or every woman has a birthright to accept devotional service and to become Krishna conscious. Very interestingly, Krishna consciousness is not something very new to us. Krishna consciousness is there in our heart, but in a dormant state. What does dormant state mean? It's inactive. So, which means we feel it is not there. Like, for an example, at least I remember in India, you have a carpet, and under the carpet you think, oh, it'll because it is covered, right? So there will not be any dust. But the moment you remove the carpet, you see there is a lot of dust behind. So it's not that the dust is not there, but it is just not visible. It's a mundane example, but connecting to this, though we cannot experience that Krishna consciousness is there within our heart, but we think it is there, but we think it's not there because it's not visible to us. When we come in contact with devotee, and then when we kindle, right, like now winter is about to start, fall is starting. So when you want to start the fireplace, you need to kindle the fire with some firestone or some kind of a fire, this thing which can immediately start fire.
Mm.
So you similar way, Krishna consciousness is inactive. It is there within our heart. But when we come in association of devotees, when we start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, when we start reading these scriptures, we slowly ignite or kindle that fire of Krishna consciousness, and that's how it is awakened. And we feel it is so joyful. Not that you got something new, like in material world. If you need happiness, we try to look for something new. I want something new. I want a new phone. I want a new house. But Krishna consciousness is not new. It is there. So when we experience that happiness is not a mundane happiness. That happiness is coming from the soul, because now finally that fire which was hidden, that Krishna consciousness which was hidden, now it appeared, it manifested. So that's where Srila Rupa Goswami is saying that this is our birthright. Not that like in India initially, now I don't know if it is still there. There are certain caste of Brahmana who says, oh, you know what, you cannot come here, you cannot take a bath in Ganga, you cannot do this, you cannot do that because you're not a Brahmana. But this is being defeated here. Rupa Goswami is saying that we have birthright to accept Krishna consciousness. And Rupa Goswami has given many evidence from many scriptures. He especially quoted one passage from Padma Puran where sage Vashishta tells to King Dilipa, my dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service. Just he has the right to take early bath in the month of December, January, called as Magh. There is one more evidence in Skanda Puran in the Kashi Khanda portion where it is said in the country known as Mayurdhwaj, the lower caste people who are considered less than Shudras are also initiated in Vaishnava cult of devotional service. And when they are properly dressed with tilaka on their bodies, beads in their heads, and on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikuta. In fact, they look so very beautiful that immediately they surpass the ordinary Brahmanas. You see, that is, thank you, Naresh Prabhu, for joining.
Sorry,
So,
bro.
what? No problem. So, we see Mrigrari, or when we see Ratnakar was a hunter. He was killing animals half dead. But by coming in association with Narada Muni, he transformed and he became Valmiki Muni. Can you imagine? He wrote Ramayan. What a power! This is such a drastic difference. From killing animal, one becomes such a sadhu who writes Ramayan. And people are looking after him when they talk about Ramayan. So what is happening here is that when someone comes in contact with spiritual master and spiritual master gives the mantra, when one chants that mantra, he suddenly get empowered, because the spiritual master has an ability, or he is empowered to instill faith within our heart, which is what we are lacking. What are we lacking, to be honest? One may say, oh, I know this process is right, this is whatever has to be done, but why we are not able to process it, why we are not able to progress on that path? Because we don't have a faith. For an example, if Warren Buffett comes and tell you, you invest in this stock, you will immediately do it. Why? Because he is an experienced guy, he knows how to invest. And if he is suggesting where to invest, that is definitely going to gain me more money. So same way, on the material plane we do that, but when it comes to spiritual plane, when the realized souls like Rupa Goswami are writing, why we don't take it? Because we have faith in Warren Buffett, we have faith in this material world, we have faith in everything in the material world. For an example, you're driving the car on the freeway or expressway or highway, however we will put it. You have a faith that the guy who is driving in the next lane will not all of a sudden come in my lane. Or you have a faith that this guy, the guy who is driving in front of me, is going to drive perfect or even behind. And you just run on that faith. But how about a guy is drunkard and he all of a sudden does that stuff? You say, "Arey, how is that possible?" Which means our faith in material world and material phenomena is so strong. Like if I'm boarding the plane, I know I'm going to reach the destination. Though I have seen so many people had an air crash. Faith. I have faith in material things. I have faith if I'm buying things. If I'm buying things from market, if I'm doing that, my health will be perfect. If I'm eating, faith in every aspect of material life. But we do not have faith in spiritual life. We do not have faith in the instruction of scriptures. That is unfortunate thing. And that is why we do not progress. That is why we don't take up devotional service very seriously. So someone asks, do you have a faith? The natural reaction is, yeah, I have a faith. But we do not. That's a reality. Because if we have a faith, then we will run this process. Like, I'll give you one story, very nice. So there was a spiritual master, there was a guru, and he had a disciple. And disciple had to do some seva. So there was a river. So the guru told him, you chant mantra and walk on the river. Guru, the disciple had a faith on Guru. So he chanted that mantra, he walked on the river. He reached on the opposite side. And Guru was surprised. Are, how is that possible? Let me also try. Because he only gave the mantra. So he started chanting the mantra. The moment he reached to the middle of the river, he was doubtful. Does this mantra really work? He immediately drowned in the river. What's the difference between a first person, his disciple, and a guru? It's the same mantra, but worked for a disciple did not work for his guru because the disciple had a faith, but guru did not have a faith. This is very important aspect. That's our
Can I say something?
face.
Just because of that same thing you just said, faith,
Mm.
it's very, most of the time, I have seen people who are, who does faith in, as you said, mundane things, and sometimes when they feel fear, like
Mm.
ghosts or some other evil entities,
Yes.
then they do faith on gods.
Mm.
But when they're not, when they're normal life living, they
Mm.
don't have that faith,
Mm.
right? So it's like very, um I don't know, controversial or something, that they don't get it easily until unless they are on the corner.
Very nice, Manaji. Kabir ji says a very beautiful line. दुख में सिमरन सब करे सुख में करे न कोय.
Mm,
Very deep line actually.
yeah.
Because we have so much of faith on material world and material aspects of life, we think this is going to work. And if it fails, our faith is broken from material world. We are always looking for putting our faith on something.
Mm,
So now when that faith is broken from material world, they try to put their faith in spiritual time. Not that their faith is strong. Now there is a percentage of faith. So if they don't see the result in a given period of time, they lose that faith. I'll
yeah.
give you my own example. I think I shared in another class, but
Yes, you said that about the coconut.
exactly. Thank you for remembering that. I
Yes.
went to Hanumanji. Naresh Prabhu may not know, so I have to bring that in. So I did not prepare for my math. This was a 12th exam. So I'm like, okay, let me take 21 coconut and I'll offer to Hanuman. He will do some magic tomorrow. I went to the next day to temple thinking that the magic is going to work. Now, what kind of magic is going to work if I don't know what answer to put in? So I failed. So I complained. अरे मैं इतना करा, मैं 21 नारे लेके आया, मेरा इतना भी नहीं किया. Now whose problem is that? My problem. My faith is so shaky that it is dependent on the results, not on the actual faith. Right? This is very important. So when I am practicing, when I'm coming to spiritual plane, I'll tell you one another example, Mavi. When my wife left, just within a month, I was there in the temple, and one devotee brought another lady, and she said, "This Mataji lost her very young son." So, you know, Can you share some insight here? I spoke to her and I told her, see, I'll tell you, wherever your son is gone, he cannot come back and you cannot go there. However, if you practice devotional service very seriously, you go back to Godhead, all your 21 generation will be liberated and they will join you. She listened. After that, I never saw her again. So, the reality is that it takes one to know one, which means I am also going through similar situation. She is also going through, someone passed away, very loved one.
Yeah.
But what is the difference here? My faith is not there. What I need is people speaking only at the emotional plane, not actually taking that life forward. I've also seen some people who take up devotional life very fast
Mm-hmm.
when something happens in their life. And for some people, it is just like a
Ritual.
vibrator. Like a phone vibrates for a few seconds and
Yeah.
then it goes away. That's an unfortunate thing. So that faith also, which you mentioned, Mataji, is temporary. Not that I am taking permanently, oh, I have to do something. Like for an example, Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Renunciation comes when you see someone dying in that body, they take it. Oh, I'm also going to die one day. I should take up spiritual life seriously. One day goes, 2 day goes, maybe 2 3 days, then you are back. For some people, even after they come after the Shamshan Gar, they again get back to the routine.
Yeah, we don't practice detachment, right? We always
The
think,
faith is
and
not there. You cannot practice detachment unless you have an attachment with something sublime.
yeah.
For a person who has a sugar, if he doesn't have an attachment for some object which gives him that kick similar as sugar, he will keep thinking about items which he would eat. Similar way, the mundane example, this is sorry, but in spiritual level, unless you have attachment towards Krishna, you will not be able to detach with material world.
It's a
You
very something that I just hear
mm,
from one, I'm sure, some podcast
mm,
about Buddhist monks,
mm.
how they practice detachment. I was very shocked,
Yeah.
probably. They paint they paint like a painting, a group of people.
Mm,
They do painting for hours. All the details and everything, every little thing takes months.
mm,
And when everything is done, they stare. For first few weeks they stare,
mm,
they go back, and then another few weeks they go back a little bit farther and
mm.
see the picture, and then last they all come together and burn down the picture.
Hare Krishna.
So that's how they do practice detachment. Oh my goodness, like I'm an artist. I do paint and all. I
Mm,
can understand, like, once one painting is done, how near to your heart that is.
mm.
So, and that you burn down in front of your eyes, that is takes up a lot of
Yeah,
practice, like courage.
that is so true. But the question here is that what is going to happen after life? Even if I am detached with everyone, but where is my attachment? If I don't have an attachment towards God,
Mhm.
I will take another birth. I will take a birth as a yogi. What's the point?
Mm.
And that is why we need to understand what we have got. It's
I
a
think,
Chintamani
Prabhu,
stone.
there is so many
Mm.
people have a different
Yes,
philosophy, different
yes,
thoughts. I
yes.
just heard one thing. It was just give me.
Mm,
I was shocked. It was one lady, Vaishnav, I think she
mm,
is, because she is wearing tilak and
mm,
tulsi mala on her thing and everything. And then she was saying, by the way, anybody can do Krishna Nam Jap,
mm,
which is fine. Um, but that means that who's doing like non-veg people, like
mm,
who's eating non-veg, and they can also
mm,
do.
Hmm.
Even
Correct.
you can wear a tilak, you can also do nam jap.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
but still, I mean, if you're coming to Krishna consciousness, that thing goes away anyway, no?
Yeah, this is very important, Madhaji. So this vairagya has to come naturally.
Yeah.
When you try to artificially renounce, let me quote you my example. Again, I have made so many mistakes. I can keep saying about that. So I had a very luxurious car in India. Okay. And then I heard about this renunciation. One should live a life very simple and he should do high thinking. So what I did, and I've been always rascal like this. So what I did, sold my car and I went to the shop and I bought the most basic car. At the time it was Maruti Alto.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that car and then my wife would just see what am I doing. I brought that car and I started driving that car and drove that car for a few years and then I realized my desire for other cars because I don't know, somehow man has an attraction for the
Yeah.
car like the woman has the attraction for jewelry or clothes. So I ended up buying another car which was again luxurious. What from that perspective?
Mm-hmm.
Why I was not able to do that? Because it was an artificial renunciation. One cannot artificially renounce until one reaches there. And that's why Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, one may go to the forest thinking that I'm renouncing, but goes with his six wives. Who are six wives? Five senses and the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. So one has to develop attachment towards Krishna. The Vairagya will automatically come, like you said. If I keep chanting Krishna's name, rest all things will automatically disappear. I have a friend, he was in Sydney actually. So I also joined Sydney, all because all of the people there, they were very in premium, like prime youth, you know. So it was easy for me to connect with them, not the old people. So this guy was telling me, he said, and he comes from a very rich family. He said, every 1 hour I need wine.
Wow.
And that was my life. After coming to Krishna consciousness, what to talk about every 1 hour? Wine is left. Any intoxication is left.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't try it artificially. But because when someone is connected to Krishna, slowly, those unwanted things will disappear. That's the power of bhakti. Make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. 100%.
Very
It
nice to
happens
see.
to me too.
Yeah, very nice. Keep practicing. Things will automatically manifest, but one has to understand life is very short as well.
Yes.
So I don't want to keep doing okay, yeah, progress is happening, but I realize at the end of my life, oh Krishna, I wasted. I could have improved, I could have reached to such a higher level, but I couldn't. And that's what I regret. I keep telling my friends, devotee friends, I'm 48 now. I started in 28. In 20 years, I never understood the depth of Krishna consciousness, which I'm understanding now. And I realize I wasted my life and not reading these scriptures. And by both of your mercy, Himesh Prabhu is not here with us anymore, at least in the class. I'm able to read what I should be reading. So I'm very grateful to you both. So thus a Vaishnava automatically becomes a Brahmana. The idea is that also supported by Sanatan Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is Vaishnava guide. He clearly states that any person who is properly initiated into Vaishnava cult certainly becomes Brahmana. As the metal known as Kamsha, bell metal, is turned into gold by mixture of mercury. Like I gave an example about um, who became Valmiki, I mentioned Ratnakar. Very similar thing. A bona fide spiritual master under the guidance of authorities can turn anyone into Vaishnava cult. Srila Rupa Goswami warns, however, if that a person is properly initiated by bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that simply by acceptance of such initiation is a business, and in this way it is finished. One still has to follow the rules and regulations very carefully. If, ac- if after accepting the spiritual master and being initiated, one does not follow the rules and regulations, then he is again fallen. So initiation is initiate. We are actually starting the process sincerely. And one should practice that, not that he fades away from there. Rupa Goswami also says if one is regularly discharging devotional service, there will be no question of a fall down. But even if circumstantially there is some fall down, the Vaishnava need have nothing to do with praschita, the ritual ceremony for purification. If someone falls down from the principle of devotional service, he need not take to the praschita performance of reformation. He simply has to execute the rules and regulations of discharging devotional service, and this is sufficient for reinstatement. This is the mystery of Vaishnava cult. One real story. There was a devotee, and he was living in India. His job was in Singapore. So he was staying there. And he told it to Brahmachari actually, and he told that story anyway. So I'm just coming to this point. So he was living in Singapore. So he came and told this Brahmachari, I'm feeling very guilty. He said, why? He said, I'm alone here. And then my wife is there, my family is I have to work here. He said, yeah, that's okay when things are. He said, no, but there is a problem. What is the problem? I have a maid who's helping me. Okay, what is the problem? She's helping you, right? No, she is living with me. Okay. And now he started opening up, saying that, you know what, now I have relationship with her. And now he realized, where did I fall down now? Where have I come? Because one of the four regulative principle, one of them is no illicit sex, which means a person who is married can only unite with the same partner, not with anyone else. But the problem here is that Krishna is so merciful. He inspires that person not to do those activities which are taking him away. And one comes back to the path. So still there is a hope. Not that, oh, you know what, I'm contaminated, I cannot do this process anymore. I will go and live in material world. No, that's not right. Practically, there are three processes for elevating one to the platform of spiritual consciousness. These processes are called as karma, jnana, and bhakti. We read very detailed in Bhagavad Gita. There was a karma yoga, there was a jnana yoga, and there is bhakti yoga. Ritualistic performances are in the field of karma. Speculative processes are in the field of jnana. Ritualistic performances means going to the temple, offering obeisances, asking material desires, whatever. It's just basically doing karma yoga. Speculative processes, maybe this way I'll achieve God, maybe this way. That is jnana. One who has taken to bhakti, the devotional service of the Lord, need have nothing to do with karma or jnana. It has been already explained that pure devotional service is without any tinge of karma or jnana. Bhakti should have no tinge of philosophical speculation or ritualistic performances. I have a question for both of you. Have you seen a baby monkey holding mother monkey, and then mother monkey goes from one tree to another tree? Have you seen that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Have you seen a cat carrying a kitten in her mouth and taking her from one place to another place?
Yes, Prabhu.
What is the difference? Both are kids, both are mother. What's the difference?
So cat cannot jump one from one tree to another,
Hmm.
and monkey cannot. Monkey can jump higher.
Hmm.
So there, and what else? That
Naresh
is
bro,
one
you're
thing.
that's okay. Thank you. Can you hear me, Naresh bro?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. Do you see the difference? What's the difference? Have you
Don't
seen?
know.
Have you seen
Maybe,
the
yeah,
difference?
I saw Prabhuji, but
No problem, no problem.
the,
One more point, Prabhu. Sorry,
Please.
Naresh Prabhu. If you go ahead, go ahead.
no, ma'am. Mataji, you can go ahead.
Um, Monkey holds baby like a human. They
Hmm.
hold you,
Hmm.
but cat is only biting the neck because they cannot hold the baby like human or any
Okay.
other.
That is close. Let me come to this point. A baby monkey is holding mother monkey and it is relying on its own effort. If the baby monkey leaves the hand, it falls down. However, a kitten is taken by the mother, which means there is no possibility of falling down as long as the mother is holding.
Right, Prabhu.
Other processes like karma yoga and jnana yoga are heavily reliant on your own endeavor. Bhakti yoga is dependent on Krishna's mercy more. Both, all of them need mercy. But Karma Yogi and Jnana Yogi thinks that I am the doer. I am trying. I will try. I'll give my best. I'll do this. Bhakti Yogi is always crying out for mercy of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Please help me. I can't do that. Please help me. Please help me. And that is why Bhakti Yoga is a Sreshta process compared to other. Because with mercy, you can cross over ocean, but with your endeavor, you cannot. And that's the point which I wanted to highlight. Thank you so much for bringing that in. Bhakti should not have a tinge of philosophical speculation or ritualistic performances. In this connection, Srila Rupa Goswami gives evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 21st chapter verse 2, in which Lord Krishna says to Uddhava, the distinction between qualification and disqualification may be made in this way. Persons who are already elevated in discharging devotional service will never again take shelter of the process of fruitive activity or philosophical speculation. If one sticks to a devotional service and conducted by a regulative principle given by authority, that is the best qualification. A person who tasted bhakti will never go down. I'll give you one example, two examples actually. I don't think I spoke about these examples, but if I did, let me know, Mataji. So there was a brahmachari. I guess in Hawaii or somewhere. I don't remember exact place. So he was before joining brahmachari ashram. He was a great surfer. In Hawaii, you see a lot of surfing guys, or other places as well. So he was a good surfer. So he spent good number of years in as a brahmachari in the temple. One day, somehow he remembered surfing, and he had a desire to go and do surfing. So he somehow sneaked out from the temple and he went to the ocean for surfing. He did surfing for many, many years. He was a pro in that. That day when he went for surfing, guess what happened? Few sharks started chasing him. And we all know sharks are really eating sharks. They started chasing him. He was running, he was just surfing, running away from them, but they were so fastly chasing him. And he realized, man, I'm gone. This is it. This is the day. And he started calling out, nursing a prayer. By the time he finished nursing a prayer, he realized those sharks are gone. He immediately threw the surfing plate, came back to temple, that Krishna, I took up this devotional service, but I had a desire to do that. But I realized how dangerous it is to live in material world. What better to take shelter of Krishna and live it like that. So as long as we are in that coconut shell of Krishna consciousness, everything seems to be easy. Life may not treat us the way we think, but at the end of the day, we have a shelter. But when you leave the shelter, you realize how dangerous it is. You were able to follow along?
Yes, Prabhuji.
This statement is supported in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 5th chapter, verse 17, where Sri Narada Muni advises Vyasdev thus: even if one does not execute a specific occupational duty, but immediately takes direct shelter of lotus feet of Hari Krishna, there will be no fault in his part, and in all circumstances his position is secure. Even if by some bad association he falls down while executing devotional service, or if he doesn't finish the complete course of devotional service and dies ultimately, still he is not at loss. A person who is simply discharging his occupational duty in Varna and Ashram, however, with no Krishna consciousness, practically does not gain the true benefit of human life. So, if I'm not practicing consciousness, whatever I'm doing, though I am best at everything, but it is useless because at the end of the day, I'm going from B to D, which is birth to death. Only thing which I have in between is C, making choices and utilizing that choice to actually connect to Krishna. Otherwise, we can keep working, we can keep earning the money. Money will be there, bank account will be there, house will be there, car will be there, but we will not be there. That's the power of time. Was just thinking about just now. I moved my plants inside because it's getting little colder here now. And I realized how fast the summer flight. And now similar way, how similar fast way the winter will fly. That's how my life will fly. When will I become serious in Krishna consciousness? I was just thinking about it. The purport is that all conditioned souls who are engaged very frenetically in activities of sense gratification without knowing that this process will never help them to get out of material contamination rewarded only with repeated birth and death. I was just talking to my colleague. He said, I'm going to India. My sister is in a very bad shape. I don't know how long she's going to live. So I'm just going there to meet her. And I was thinking, yeah, I understand. It's unfortunate thing your sister. Do you think you will also going to live here forever? Or I was thinking myself, am I going to live here forever? We can't. And that is unfortunate reality of life. One has to understand, like a leaf falls in the winter season. That's how our life flies by. Fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated by Rishabdev to his sons: persons engaged in fruitive activities are repeatedly accepting death, and until they develop a loving feeling for Vasudev, there will be no question for getting out of their stringent laws of material nature. Don't think only devotees are suffering. Sometimes we see, or why I'm suffering? Other materialists are enjoying life to the fullest. Why do I have to compromise? Why do I have to sacrifice? We have a hope that we'll go back to Godhead and never to take a birth again. For these guys, the miserable after death and even death is waiting for them. As such, any person who is very seriously engaged in the occupation is Varna and Ashram, and one who does not develop love for Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudev should be understood to be simply spoiling his human form of life. I think we will end here. Any questions, comments, or reflection?
Prabhu, you said something last week as well that I still try to fail when other gurus, they, I mean, now I just found out in the news that some gurus, one probably think better is this guru and the other think better is this guru, and
Hmm.
they keep fighting the devotees.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the gurus fighting or not, but the devotees is telling, oh, my gurus is best and their gurus is best. Like, I don't understand the fact that why you, I mean,
Yes.
Everybody's at some point probably there also saying
Yeah.
a good deed, good
Yeah.
thoughts,
Yeah.
good slokas and stotras and all that.
Yes.
So why don't you just take a simple piece of advice and move on? Why do they fight? Even the devotees, why you have to fight between the who's best? I
Very,
mean,
very,
is it
very
fighting
good.
between the who's greater? Is the Vishnu Bhagwan or Krishna Bhagwan? It's like, what's the point?
Very, very good point you brought in, Madhaji. Sometimes you see in children, I don't know if you notice, but I closely observe now. Uh, a child has some toys. The other child comes into his house. He's very possessive about his things. He will not share those things with others.
Mhm.
What happens there? The similar mentality continues forward because we all carry the baggage of our own karma and our conditioning or our thought process. Conditioning is another putting thought process. We carry that thought process, and even coming in bhakti, we try to pollute bhakti, or not pollute, you cannot pollute bhakti, but bring that thing into Krishna consciousness. And again, this is my toy, this is your toy, this is my guru, this is your guru. Problem is not with the process. Problem is with those people who are actually bringing that filthy thought process even in coming in bhakti. And why it is happening? Now let's come to that point. Yes, I'm carrying my karma or my carrying my thought process, which is okay. But until I realize this knowledge which I'm reading, it will remain theoretical. And you will keep doing the way you were doing before even coming to Krishna consciousness. One has to have intelligence, and how the intelligence is sharpened when you read, when you hear, and when you read, and when you apply. Then every moment, every decision you take, every word you speak, you think through, is this pleasing to my guru or it is disturbing him? Is it pleasing to Krishna or is it disturbing Krishna? Unless you come to that platform, you have never understood what bhakti is all about. So if these people are coming, my guru, your guru, the whole idea we've been speaking from Bhagavad Gita second chapter, very basic. What do we speak in second chapter? I am not the body, I am the soul. Everything in this world is connection with the body. Soul cannot be destroyed. Soul cannot be cut into pieces.
Mhm.
Basic, right? Not a very high philosophy here. So is he my guru? Who am I? I'm not this body. Somehow Guru has accepted me, and then I want to become an instrument in the hand of Guru and try to preach his message.
Mhm.
But I miss that. And that is the problem in just reading and hearing but not applying. That's why one has to continuously pray, Krishna, give me intelligence so that whatever I'm reading and I'm hearing, I can apply in my life.
Yeah, that's why I just don't see the news because even Indian news at some point
Yeah,
it gives me the very awkward feelings. I'm like, what is this news
exactly.
about? I mean, there
That's
is
why
so many
people are
things
leaving
happening
spirituality.
there,
Correct.
and then there is some other politician and this, and then all of a sudden the spirituality comes in between, and you have to make the media out of it, everything. So
It's a mess to be in, to be honest, Mataji. We are
I'm
for
planning to move back to India in future somewhat. But even though if I'm going, everybody is saying why you have to leave. Yeah, how is India? I'm like, I understand bhakti is for me. If I go anywhere, bhakti doesn't stop for me. It
hmm,
doesn't matter in Canada or US, India. It doesn't matter
hmm.
that way. So I mean, if I be closer to Krishna, of course I will try my best. But yeah, because I don't have to think twice who's saying what. as long as I follow my own
Absolutely. Absolutely.
mind.
One has to focus on spiritual life, Mataji, and then take up what this life is so rare and this life is very short. Take up that spiritual life and actually focusing and working on getting out of the cycle of birth and death. What to talk about living in Canada, India, USA, or Hawaii?
I was just this weekend I went to Scarborough and some places to just have a food from
Hmm.
that place because it's a vegetarian place and it's really nice food. So I've been calling and they didn't pick up the phone, and so we had to go there and uh, trying to order online and go and pick it up. Then we went. We just like within a 15 minutes of spam. Um, there is five bullets are through the windows. I see the windows are all broken, and
Krishna.
then there is another restaurant right beside it is also broken window. So there is both of them. There is broad daylight. It's
Ah,
like
Krishna.
1 o'clock. So I was like, if I was there in 15 minutes ago, God knows what can happen.
That is a brutal reality of this world. Wonderful. Naresh Prabhu, you have any comments or reflections?
Prabhuji, when Mataji asked that question, right, why these gurus
Hmm.
and devotees fight,
Hmm.
uh, e- e- even I saw that difference, Prabhuji, in others, but even I had that attitude in the beginning, Prabhuji. I mean, once it happened,
Hmm.
it's my experience, Prabhuji. You know, right, Prabhuji, when you start your Krishna conscious journey, initial days, like, you feel like you are the great, something like that, right,
Yeah,
Prabhuji? You will have
actually.
different feeling, like,
Yeah.
so even I had that same thought. So, okay, Krishna is ultimate, he is everything. So we are just knowing about him, we are the devotees. When someone says, no, I prayed to this god, then, a spark comes into our mind. Okay, you are still in the low level, I am at the topmost level,
Hmm.
I'm a devotee. Then immediately I was telling to my wife, then my wife immediately she gave me some answer. Why are you treating like that? That one moment, Prabhuji, that happened in the beginning. Since then, I never, like, okay, you're you're doing great, or you're great, or I am great. That difference has been gone. But whatever Mataji said, right, even I had that in my mind few years ago. But this is the feeling, Prabhuji. Like, whatever you do, like, when you compare, you should be in the top level. That is what, the thought. So one more experience happened in ISKCON, Prabhuji,
Hmm.
uh, in my place called Nellore. We have
Hmm.
a bigger temple. I went to the temple. I think that is very first time, I guess. They gave Tirtham. I mean, I had it. Then they gave prasad, like a lemon rice, I guess. Lemon
Hmm.
rice or some kesari. I was about to eat. I was standing in front of the altar. I didn't know that I should not eat prasad in front altar.
Hmm.
I mean, did this. Then one Prabhuji came and he pulled my hand, and he dragged me all the way out of the temple, Prabhuji. Uh,
Hmm.
that Prabhuji didn't even explain anything, that Prabhuji didn't even say, hey, you should not do this. This is the right way. He didn't say a single word. He just left. Then, I was like, okay, what to do? Then again,
Exactly.
these things happened. So, so what Mataji is asked, like, it's,
Prabhu,
thing is there.
I want to share this. Some of my friends who inspired me to come to Krishna consciousness, with whom I grew up in Krishna consciousness, some of them are not in Krishna consciousness anymore.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
This is an unfortunate situation. Because of some experiences, they think, oh, this happens here also. I'll leave.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
So, with all this, I learned this is the journey between me to Krishna. Whatever happens, this journey should never stop.
Yes, Prabhu, I totally agree.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
People
Because
will
we are
come.
at the end of the day, we are still a human, and human can
Correct.
have a little
Yes.
setback, right? That
Yeah.
doesn't mean other person has to judge, oh, because of that person, that's a guruji, how come the guruji can sit back? that
Yeah,
but we are still a human being, we are
Yes.
not a godhead yet,
exactly,
right? So
exactly.
they don't understand, oh, like, everything can happen, like, even even they have fighting over, oh, Krishna consciousness with the over Shiva, or
Even
Kali.
even within, even within that is then even var, even within Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was the guru of Srila Prabhupada. So there was one of the disciple. I want to share you a real story. One of the disciple, he was very rich. So he sold everything, everything, all his business, including his home, to build a marble temple. It is still there actually. No, it is, yeah. Anyway, I'll come to that point. So he built the temple for his guru, and his guru was very pleased. He went to an extent he sold his house also, which means he was also himself was also living in the temple because there was no because he sold his house.
Yeah.
His guru was so pleased. When this temple was built, it was built from marble. At the time, this is, I'm talking in 1800 series. Marble was very expensive, and marble was a very big thing. So brahmacharis in the temple renounced everything. These are brahmacharis. They started fighting among themselves which room will be, who will take which room. And when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was Prabhupada's guru, saw this, he said, let's sell all the marble in the temple and print books.
Mm.
Because of this marble, devotees are fighting. Another story, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciple. So, one of his disciple used to sleep outside just with the dhoti, and he would sleep outside every day, whether it is cold or whether it is summer. So one day he approached Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Guru Maharaj, these other brahmacharis are in Maya. They are doing sense gratification by sleeping inside. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur called all the brahmacharis who were sleeping inside and called this devotee. He said, from tomorrow onwards, this devotee was sleeping outside. You sleep inside, and all the devotees who are sleeping inside, you sleep outside. Why? You are, your ego is high, thinking that you are renouncing everything and you are living outside and sleeping outside. To make you humble, you should sleep inside. And for these devotees who are very comfortable sleeping inside, you sit out so you understand there has to be part of renunciation. Very deep example actually.
All you have to get out from your comfort zone and keep uh, practicing this. Sometimes when I do my rounds, Prabhu, even like I can be honest, like sometimes is I do one round at least once every day,
Hmm.
sometimes twice,
Hmm.
but even at some days even one round, sometimes I feel like how do I say, like I feel anxiety inside.
Yeah, it feels like a burden, right?
No, it's not. I don't. I can't explain. Sometimes I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm trapped. Like it's sometimes I feel hot. Sometimes I feel cold. You
Hmm.
know, this is like very. But I still do it no matter what. I
Very
just
nice.
don't want it to get my head and keep finishing at least one round, because that time I think that is for our um, I don't know. Like you have to give exam every day.
Yeah, that is true. Don't think that I'm chanting 16 rounds just because I love Krishna's holy name. I'm not at that platform. But
Yeah.
I want to do something for Krishna. He has done so much for me.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm chanting 16 rounds. And
And
that's the.
Prabhuji,
Mhm.
yeah, I would like to add, Prabhuji, even when I wanted to do chant, like, let's say if I set my mind, let's do 16 from tomorrow onwards, on that, I'll do for some time. When I'm trying to be serious, right? I won't do properly, Prabhuji. When I'm very casual, like relax, no goals, nothing. Just if you don't set any targets, right? Then that time, the chanting, even I read the books very relaxedly. But when I set my mind right, I feel very difficulty, like I'm doing something different. But it's a casual thing, regular thing. But when I set the goal, like as you said, right, burden. Yeah, sometimes I feel that burden. Sometimes I force to finish those rounds, even book reading. Uh, but at the end of the day, I feel like, okay, sometimes you don't like to go to the school, but still you go to the school. That is how I feel.
Yeah, exactly. Like for an example, whether you want or you do not want, I think you do hybrid. Is that right? You go to work, Prabhu,
No,
some days.
Prabhuji, 5 days, Prabhuji.
5 days, all days you have to go to work.
Yes,
Now one
Prabhuji.
day decide, Arey, I don't want these rules. I thank you. I don't want these rules. I want to go whenever I want to go. What will happen?
My manager sent a mail. You should come 5 days, no matter what, or else you'll be fired.
That's the truth. That's a brutal reality, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And we do it. Why? Because oh, job chahiye, salary
Yeah,
chahiye. Otherwise, how
exactly.
am I going to pay mortgage? How am I going to take care? But somehow, Prabhuji, unfortunate reality is that the mind is so trained. No, यही चीज भक्ति के लिए नहीं आएगा. You will not do. अरे, I have to chant 16 rounds because you feel अरे nothing will happen if I don't do.
Yes, Prabhuji. That is true, Prabhuji. We say some reasons, right, Prabhuji, why not to go to temple, why not to read books. So then I compare immediately with office, Prabhuji, because even you see a lot of different peoples in office, but still we go for the money.
Yeah.
So these examples, right, sometimes helps.
I think also, Prabhu, once you are in a routine, I have seen, because I work 4 days a week
Hmm.
and I have 1 day off. That
Hmm.
the off day where I can do, I am productive, but
Hmm.
my timing is always bad.
Hmm.
Because when I'm in the routine, like if I'm getting up every day, I'm doing stuff on time. That doesn't happen when you're day off. That always you fall behind or others, right?
Yes.
Although you
Yes.
think, oh, I have a full day in front of me, I will do so many things, but it doesn't happen because you take it for granted for that day. I think in our mind, always it happens.
That is why you have to beat your mind with the shoes. That's the principle they mention. I'll share you last Saturday. Friday I had Seva. And right now I'm alone, so I have to manage the whole house. I have to take care of job. I have to take care of kids. I have to cook. I have to clean kitchen. Everything I have to do myself. So Friday was very tough for me. My work was very demanding. I did not finish. I just only chanted 6 rounds in the morning, and I had 10 rounds remaining. Then I finished four, so I had 6 rounds remaining. And Friday I have a DT Seva. So DT Seva starts at 7:30, and I thought, okay, I have 6 rounds remaining. I'll do it. But then my son needed something, and rather than finishing that in 10 minutes, that took me 45 minutes. So I could only chant 1 round before going for DT Seva. I went for the DT Seva. I came back at 10:30. Now I have 6 rounds remaining. I chanted and I chanted till 11:30 in the night. Dead tired. Now I try to go Saturday morning to Mangla Arti. Now my mind said, Are for that you have to wake up at 4, which means you are sleeping only 4 hours. And Saturday, last Saturday was very busy for me because kids wanted to go to water park.
Yes.
I'm like Krishna, which means I cannot sleep in the afternoon either. So I still went for morning program. I reached rather than 5, I reached at 5:10, 5:15. And that day I was feeling really good because I chanted good rounds. And I realized that I would have missed the most important thing in my life, which is chanting in the morning. Not easy for anyone. Don't think that I am giving that class, it's easy for me. It's difficult for me also. But
Mhm.
one has to overcome this. I fail miserably sometimes. I'm not trying to say it proudly. I also fail many times. But one has to work hard on that. I want to do it for Krishna. Great. I went over time today, 5 minutes, but this is wonderful discussion. Let's keep continuing this discussion. That's the purpose. That's why I call it a study class. This is not a regular class. We study together and share our thoughts. So very grateful for joining today. We
Thank you.
will continue from fifth chapter. Shla Prabhupada ki jai, Shla Rupa Goswami
Prabhuji,
ki.
sorry, Prabhuji, I'm joining late nowadays. I've been having meetings since, I mean, not since,
Krishna.
till 7, Prabhuji, sometimes with PST timing and all. So
Hmm.
that is the reason I'm joining late, Prabhuji. Sorry for that. But
Thank you,
I'll try to
Prabhu.
join
Very
on time, Prabhuji.
grateful.
Yeah.
Very grateful for coming daily. This is otherwise I would not be have an opportunity to read Nectar of Devotion. By both of your mercy, I'm able to read. Thank you so much for your
Thank you, Prabhuji.
sincerity.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Hare Krishna. I'm ending it now.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.